September. Y'all had an opportunity to look over the agenda. Make any changes? We have a motion to adopt.
Motion to, go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead,
Motion to adopt.
and I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, public comment, we have one signed up, Mr. Danny McIntosh. Topic 407.
Good evening, Mayor, council, staff. August 1st this year was on Friday. About 8 o'clock that morning in emergency pipe talk is 0800 there, so the voice came over the radio. They began with a long announcement. They were celebrating a long, lengthy career of Yancey County 407. And I thought, well, that's Randy Allison, that is. And as they talked on, they talked about their appreciation for his service and wound up with wishing him happy retirement. I'm thinking, how can that be? And then, last Friday, the 29th of August, I got to attend a dinner in honor of 407 in a lengthy career. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know him. I was there when he came to the Burnsville Fire Department in June of 1977. What happened next? The flood of 1977. We sort of got broke in then, I think. Along came through the 80s, and I remember well all the 4-H first aid and 4-H fire safety classes that I happened to attend with him, and we got a lot of stories we could tell about that. And then came the fight for a paramedic EMS service, the fight for a fire tax for Burnsville Township, a fight for just the privilege to place the issue of enhanced 911 on the ballot for Yancey County citizens to vote on, and just a lot of other stuff over the years. And we could tell tales, and then there's some tales that shouldn't be told. So I get to looking around, and I think, is that Randy? Randy Ollis, certainly for retirement? And I think, no, not a chance. The Randy Ollis I know will say, what? We're just getting started here. Thank you, Randy, for all you've done. And all we've been through. Yeah, excuse.
Speech. Thank you, Randy, for everything you've done. All right, everyone had an opportunity to look over the minutes from our August meeting. Have a motion to adopt those.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No public hearings, no presentations. We'll move on to Ms. Hockaday for the manager's report.
Well, I'm gonna steal a little bit here from Leslie. She's on the FEMA, she's got y'all all graphed out on where all of our projects stand and that sort of thing. So I'm not gonna go through all that. Everybody here can read. The only thing I really have is we are, you start out after a disaster and you're in 100% federal cost share, 0% the state. Then you move to 90-10, and then you move to 75-25. Doesn't mean that much to us, because thankfully we live in the great state of North Carolina where they make up the cost share for all the local governments. However, you know, we have this temporary raw water system, and it's going to be a good amount of time before we get back on the permanent for a number of reasons. We're working on the design for it right now, but there's also the line work that involves some coordination between us and DOT that we've talked about. But Harper Construction put together this system. It's custom built, and they have done some service on it. And we have a project within our FEMA, our 18 FEMA projects. One of them is the continued maintenance, and we just received another 6-month extension. Every 6 months we'll have to apply for extension for maintenance for this emergency system. And so I have with me a service agreement with Harper for them to continue servicing in the event we've had several, and Shane can tell you more about them, kind of big blow-ups, or blow-outs, I guess would be the, and they need to come and fix those. We have a separate contract already in place with Charles Underwood Pumps, and they come and just do routine quarterly maintenance on the pumps themselves to keep them, all the stuff they need to have done to keep them running. But this is for if we have an issue with the intake itself or any of the piping, stuff like that, they will come back and fix it. So I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign this service agreement between us. And the first go around, I think, Leslie, that we have asked FEMA to allot, I think, $270,000 for the first year.
It's the,
And every 6 months, as we do that, there may be an amendment, but it's basically a time and materials on-call agreement for whatever we need from them. And they have been.
Hopefully it's nothing.
Hopefully it's nothing, you know, but over a 2-year period, we've already had them back up here, 3-4 times? Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Right.
All right, ARPA. We are started as people are beginning to notice on the main water line replacement. They're started, I guess, the first part of August, second week of August, they started on some of the side streets down on the west end. And then TP Howard is in here. They have the contract for the main, which is gonna get replaced with a shiny new piece of line. I've already been down there and picked out the one I want at Buchanan and Young. But they've started, I guess, milling up the pavement and setting where they're gonna dig
they
and
have.
trench and that sort of thing. So, that's just sort of my update there. East Main, we're about to close out, I think, the water treatment plant phase 1, that's
Think so.
done. We're under contract for the Bowlins Creek, replacement of line from the intersection of Bowlins Creek and 197 up to the plant. It's about 2,200 linear feet, goes over country. Based on discussions we're having with DOT about them rolling some of our damaged line replacement on both Bowlins Creek and 197 into their overall rebuilding of both of those roads. We think we're gonna upsize all of it to a 12-inch. That's our hope. So I received a notification from the engineers that DWI has approved the upsize from an 8-inch to a 12-inch going up to the plant through the fields there. So we're still waiting on the contractor. Contractors are all backed up now, but we hope within the next month they'll get started, and that should be a relatively short project for them to complete. East Main Sewer Interceptor, we had a bid and award. Cajun, who did the West Main Interceptor, was the award to get her on. We're waiting on DEQ to approve the bid tabulations so that we can get under contract with them, and I'll be talking with the engineers, which is Withers Ravenel, on that project tomorrow about where that is. So those are the 3 remaining ARPA projects that we have. Am I correct if I missed
I
one?
think so, no.
Yeah, so they are moving along, and we are hopeful. We feel like all our projects are gonna finish on time before the December 31st next year, 2026 deadline. 118 North Main Street renovation of the old fire department. I've got a couple of change orders that involve, we've talked quite a bit about the wall over there and the issues that they found with the structural on that one corner, the southwest corner. And they had to do a little bit of redesign in the structural engineers and the architect to get that where they could make sure it's solid. And that affected, obviously, the flooring system down there, because the original plan was to just take out all of that concrete flooring and re-pour a new slab. But the structural engineer said, you can't do that or this wall's gonna fall in. So they've come up with a new plan to sort of rehab the floor that's there. And they're gonna do an epoxy cover on it just in the first 2 bays This is only on the ground floor, not upstairs with the police department, for Public Works, which will probably be a better product altogether anyway, looking at it, than a luxury vinyl or something like that. So those are the two change orders. We're still within our contingency, and they look big, but they're not that big. I'm going through all the ones I've got here. 9 and 11, I guess. So the first one is for the basement epoxy flooring coating. And that's a change order of $39,200. And the second one is the wall stabilization, which is gonna cause them to have to pour an interior concrete wall and also put some steel beams in the ceiling, to make sure that that's okay. And that's the largest one. It's $60,000, $60,467. So, you know, the architects looked through this. We had a meeting with them today and the contractor here about these, and then on site.
But Heather, isn't there a difference in the savings between not taking all the floor out? I mean, didn't they consider that,
Well,
take that into consideration?
They did, and actually, I mean, basically, what they did was not rip the floor out, so on that part, yeah, where they just trench for the plumbing and stuff, we got a savings. And then here, we're getting a savings off of the original, I guess we're saving $12,000 off the original contract for the type of flooring that was
Right.
going down. But then, they're going back and putting in this epoxy, which is it's a better product. And one of the problems with the floor was not only the wall, but there was a difference in elevation of about 6 inches from front to back. So, you know, the idea in the beginning was we dig the whole thing out and we re-pour everything. And then when they started trying to do that, that's when the crack in the wall appeared. And then the structural engineers said that's not a good idea. So they went back and reworked it. So that's what all this, but we did get a credit for taking the carpet and the LVT out. That was planned, and a credit for removing the concrete floor ceiling in the basement rooms. So what they're telling us now is through the demo process, what they've seen thus far, they think is pretty much everything they're gonna see. Now they're putting back new construction, and that should be much less on the change order stuff. And we actually, Brian and Shane went out and they picked out all their colors, and they're ready for their bouquets, and they did. So they're all happy now. But I will need a motion to approve these two change order 9 and change order 11.
I'll make the motion. I'll
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And if you would not mind, I guess in that, can you give me the authorization to go ahead and just sign these? Or I can let Russell sign either one. We'll let Russell sign these.
We have to make a motion on that, or?
Yeah, probably. Be
Have a
good to
motion
have it on the
allow me
record
to
if anybody
sign
ever
the
asks.
Change orders,
I'll make the motion.
Okay. I'll hold them here
second.
then.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you should have in front of you somewhere in this pile a letter of recommendation from McGill Associates Engineers. So this is going like way back to our lead service line inventory project where we're trying to figure out what everybody's got on their side of the meter. As part of our Main Street renovation project, we're gonna find out a whole lot about what's on our side and what's on their side, and everything on our side get replaced anyway. But there are about 1,000 other properties, within our service system that have to be evaluated. We put out an RFP for a service. It's called a soft dig service, basically. A company will come in and they do these, it's called potholing or soft digs, small digs on either side of the meter to see what the material is made out of, the pipe that's going from the meter into the home, and to go on our inventory. we do not have enough grant/loan money to complete all of those, but we have, there's several different methods that EPA is gonna allow us, you know, and all this saying, the town of Burnsville's not ever had, but, I mean, we test our lead all, you know, periodically. I don't know what the schedule is currently. Every 3 years. Test, do random tests throughout the system. We've not had one come back bad. And we do feed, you know, in our treatment process, a chemical that coats the lines and keeps lead from leaching if there's the lead connection. Most of what you'll see will be not actually a lead pipe, but a connection with, that's been soldered with lead. Sometimes copper piping has that. So anyway, we put out this RFP. We got 9 total responses. This is a very technical project, so we had McGill engineers do the scoring, and they are recommending that we work with Taylor Wiseman Taylor, WTW. As far as the proposal went, they were scored highest on the scoring matrix, that we start working with them on negotiating a contract for service. Like I said, it's probably gonna be not all, I think there was 1,014. They're gonna use some other modeling that they can do. Based on the numbers, we're gonna pick some specific places where there might be some issues, and look, check those out first. So the EPA has given us given everybody, I mean, this is nationwide, this isn't just North Carolina or the town of Burnsville, nationwide, all public water systems have to go through this process. So, I guess I need a motion and a vote, to accept the recommendation from McGill and allow us to start negotiations with this group. And if those for some reason fall through, we'll go to number 2 on the list, which I think was Duke's.
Have a motion to approve, what was the name of the company?
TWT.
TWT.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then we have a resolution. The state Department of Treasury has put out a 3rd round of cash flow loans. And we've done this before with 1 and 2. To date, we've not had to use any of these funds, but they are available to us at no interest. It's a short term, but we're hoping that as it's to tide you over while you're having to wait for FEMA reimbursement. And we feel like, Leslie and I have talked about it, we feel like it's probably smart to take advantage of having this. I mean, right now, we just have it in the bank, it's earning interest. Because when we get into these larger projects, a smaller project, you're gonna give them your estimate and they're gonna send you the money. A larger project, you give them your estimate and they hold the money, and then the state holds their 25% until closeout, complete closeout. So we will have to float some money to get some of these larger things going along. We ask for reimbursement and they send it to us, but it goes from the feds to the state to us. They can take a couple months. Has been our experience in the past.
Yeah, before we've had so many going at one time, it's
We got
just
all ARPA projects, they're all reimbursement. You know, we've got other stuff going on, and the amount on this one is $1,197,599.72. They go into FEMA grants portal and look at what we've got outstanding and give us a percentage of that on each round they have.
We've discussed this the last couple of meetings. I don't think we ever turn it away. Hopefully, we don't need any of it, but it don't cost us anything to get it, and it's there if we need it.
Yeah, and we opened that that account at the trust, so it's making good money.
Good.
So we need a motion to,
There's a resolution that the governing board has to pass, so I just need a motion to approve the resolution for the cash round 3 of the cash flow loan.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and just, I'm gonna give y'all kind of a heads up, we have been looking and going to a lot of different trainings on several different funding opportunities that have come along since, Helene. One is the SRF program, Helene money, that's 100% principal forgiveness on the water and sewer side, up to $5 million on each side. So we have, with our engineers, we've taken our capital improvement plan. I've been working with them and some folks from DEQ and from the COG on putting together applications for that funding. And then also EDA has a large amount of funding, that's the U.S. Economic Development Association. They approached us, had talked with some of the industrial businesses here about the possibility of putting in an application for a project that would expand the East Yancey sewer plant. That plant was built, it was downsized when it was built, but there's a mirror sister plant and room to put one down there. Obviously, you know, they would be a co-applicant, the East Yancey Water and Sewer District would be a co-applicant with us, but we would be the lead applicant on this. And where this is right now is there has to be a preliminary engineering report. The Southwestern COG out of Hickory got some funding, and they are going to, they have put out an RFQ, selected 4 or 5 engineering firms. They're gonna assign them throughout the region and pay for the preliminary engineering report. And then our COG will help put the application together. And then we'll submit. There is a match, but because we were in the Dogwood Health Trust footprint, Dogwood has committed to making our match on the grant. So it would be an opportunity to expand that plant, to double the size of it at no cost to anybody in Yancey County. And I feel like that's worth pursuing. It is a competitive grant. You know, they are nationwide, but they do have a surplus of funding because of Helene. So it's more funding than they've ever had before. Usually they're in the $1 to $5 million range. These, you can go up to 20 million. So there will have to be a resolution by the governing board to pursue the funding at some point. They haven't put those out yet, so I'm hoping either at the October meeting we can do it. I won't have to call one ahead of time just to get the resolution passed. And last thing I have is the tax reports. You guys have those. We're getting ready. Bills will go out very soon.
Thank you, Miss Heather.
That percentage still over 99.
Oh, yeah. For last year's, yes. We're still, I mean, almost 99.5 or
Yeah.
99.7.
Yeah.
Very close to 100% collection. And we have started on a couple of there's just very few that are over, you know, $1,000. We have started collection proceedings on those, so we'll get payment plans or something going.
When are we thinking that those tax bills are gonna go out? I know you called yesterday, but with thinking, like 2 weeks possibly.
No, Bill, I'm trying to think, I don't think the software will have it back around till around the week of the 15th to the 19th, I think.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly, but it is a little later.
Okay.
I can't wait.
You happy?
Tickled to death.
Anybody have any questions for Heather? All right, we'll move on to Mr. Shane Dale, Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a lot of stuff happening in the big city of Birmingham. I think most of the line, well, all of the line, pretty much on Cherry Lane and Hickory Lane has been laid now, other than the very beginning portion there next to Old Fox Brothers. And as you've seen, TP Howard's in town now and tearing up Main Street, so there's a lot of stuff happening.
We're looking at location.
If you can bear with us for a little while, we're still, these contractors are trying to tie in some of these lines and different things, so we've had a water outage today, shut down for just a little while, trying to get some things situated and tied in to different places. And as bad as I hate to say it, there will be more of that to come, but it's just a pain that we're gonna have to go through for a little while. But everything's going good. I think they're getting ready to move in down at the sewer plant and start down there, so. Not a whole lot to report on right now that you can't really see out there that's taking place right now. Things are moving forward. That's pretty much about it.
What's the status on the pothole thing? Cause we're gonna get into cold weather here and run out of asphalt to be careful.
The contractor was back in here Tuesday, done some more on Westover.
So they're already,
And
they
Hillside.
are doing it.
Yeah, now he's going,
Spot.
yeah, he's hitting some spots here and there. Got a lot of DOT work going on right now, I reckon. That's taking
Taking
precedence.
asphalt.
Yeah, right now, so, but they're hitting it as they can. He's assured me that he will take care of it
Tell them
before
cold
it's-
weather's coming.
Yeah, he's assured me that he'll take care of it before he can't get any asphalt anymore. But that's about where we're at right now.
Thank you, Shane. Miss Leslie, on the finance report.
Well, I sent out the budget versus actual and the overtime report. Cleaned up a couple lines between the 530 and the 531, so that looks a little better. And I was trying to think, does anybody have any questions about the budget versus actual? I've got this FEMA spreadsheet, and the only thing I think that's new is this line here, this 270, on the very bottom on the first page, and that's that maintenance on the intake. But we've looked at this several different times. It's like a running piece of machinery. It's up and down, but usually not down, just mostly up. But we'll just keep updating it as we go on the months and try to keep you guys informed. But we hadn't received any additional money back from them, but we don't really have anything except we just paid the rest of Harper and the Cane River line last month.
And they did obligate the Cane River
Yeah.
line since our last meeting.
Yeah.
So we should be getting that within 30 to 45 days from the state.
So with the governor and the president sparring, is that gonna affect any of our projects?
Your guess is as good as mine. What is holding the money up right now is the fact that sometime in June, the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security decided to issue an edict that all projects from all disasters across the country would over $100,000, which is a drop in the bucket on anything, would have to come to her desk for her review and her signature. And I've had conversations with Senator Ted Budd's office. They have a FEMA liaison, Bronwyn Lance, that works with them. And she said, we're trying to get meetings with them, but it's like all the money ground, to a halt, all the process did. They've already approved it in, FEMA has approved it in Region 4, and then it goes to her. And I said, surely she's not personally signing on this. And they said, well, that's what they're telling us. And I don't know who reviews or advises or whatever. And they said, we can't find a rhyme or reason. Is it oldest projects go first? Is it small projects? Is it large project? There are apparently tranches of projects that go in. And she says, yay or nay, and then the funding goes out. But once it leaves FEMA, then it goes into the North Carolina Emergency Management process, and that's usually a 30 to 40 day process of actually getting the funding. So I don't know if you've got a date on there, of when our, like the Cane River Water Line, which was one of the first projects we had completed. I mean, it was completed
Yeah.
the first week of November last year. And it was just obligated, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago. So, once it obligated, we felt safe to pay it, because we knew the money would be coming back to us. But, I don't know. There's no,
That's a pile of paper somewhere.
oh, I can't even imagine. I mean, because it goes through 7 or 8 queues at the FEMA CRC, which is located in Atlanta, and it's like, you know, you've got project development, and then costing, and then EHP, which takes a long time, that's environmental historic preservation, that's one of the longest queues, and then it goes to insurance review and peer review, and it jumps through all these hoops, and all along the way, people sign off, and usually then they say, okay, you got thumbs up for everything, hit the pay button, and the money comes to the state. But now they've added this extra step that it has to go to her office, or to her, is what they're saying. I don't know, I'm not up there, but,
Needs about 2 or 3 more zeros behind it.
well.
Yeah.
My understanding is the state of North Carolina at this stage has received 8% of the funding needed. And typically in other disasters, it's been more in the 40 to 70% range at this stage, post-disaster.
Yeah, that was part of that sparring that was yesterday today.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
Okay, next I have to close the CDBGI account. So thankfully, we're done with that project, and Lord knows I need to get them as quick as I can get done with them. But I do need a motion to do that.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Miss Leslie.
You're very welcome.
Chief Hal?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You got our run report for the month of August. We ended up with 33 runs for the month, and giving us a yearly total at the end of August of 342 calls that we responded to. Most of them for the month of August were fire alarms and, again, some automobile accidents. So that's basically what we're doing a lot of lately. And what?
Mulch fires.
And mulch
And mulch
fires.
fires.
Mulch fires actually happened in September. We'll get to hear about that next month.
And the burnout, don't forget the burnout.
Yeah, don't forget the
And
burnout.
the fully involved vehicle fire burnout that
Yeah.
occurred at Mountain Heritage yesterday afternoon.
That was funny.
Somebody called and said it was a fully engulfed fire.
As far as,
It's the
the
burnout.
update on the truck is being, equipped with shelving and some, brackets to mount equipment on it. We also asked them to add another tank fill on the back of it. It right now is in Rocky Mount, having all that done. And at that point in time, when they finish it, it'll come back to Statesville where they'll do the lettering. I don't know, hopefully by maybe end of October, they might be done with it. We'll see. They've actually got until sometime November, I think, to get it under according to their contract, to get it back to us, so. Hopefully they'll get it back soon. We did get the 2 checks from the grant application for the disaster assistance, one for $18,000, one for $50,000, to pay for our side-by-side that we have on order. So that money is in the bank, so. And we're just waiting on it. Hopefully it will be, they had 180 days on it, so it probably will not be in our hands until somewhere around after Christmas, so, we're waiting on it. That's about where we are with those items, we're big ticket items we're working on.
Thank you, Chief Hal.
Yes.
Chief Buchanan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, we have our activity logs for the month. We've had a pretty normal month. We do want to remind everyone we have Old Tommy Day. There'll be a road closure on the 27th. It'll be the 1-year anniversary of Helene as well on the same day. So, just to make you aware that we will have that coming up. From the police, that's really the update I have. We're under normal operations. For zoning code enforcement, we haven't really had that much. I did attend zoning certification training to maintain that at the beginning of August. I guess the one thing to, if anyone asks any of this question, they did extend due to the areas affected by Helene. They paused any timers for any permits that may expire. So if we have, normally if you have somebody who's pulled a permit and they haven't done work for a period of time, that permit will expire. They delayed that till December of 2027. So these permits maybe, we'll have to keep records and make sure we're maintaining these things for a little longer than we normally would. I normally would close those out if work doesn't commence on some of these permits to finish them out. That's really all I have.
Thank you, Brian. Corbin, I didn't forget.
Thank you. August was a little slow for us, but September on through the rest of the year is booked up quite nicely. We have 28 events this month. October, we have 36 events booked. I should say days rented anyways. So we're trying to stay as busy as we can as it starts getting colder and colder. That's really all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Corbin.
Thank you.
Council member reports. Anybody have anything they want to report on? Come on, Judy.
No.
So,
You know,
I would like to kind of inform the board just a little bit on some things that are taking place on Bowlins Creek. Bowlins Creek is a priority for me, and I know it is for the town. Just because we're permitted on Bowlins Creek, I feel like that's something that we need to see through, and I believe we will. But there's going to be some alternative things probably happen up there. I don't feel like that we're going to be able to put it back where it currently is in Bowlins Creek. From a monetary standpoint and from a land use standpoint, I don't think it's going to make sense to go back to the current intakes. And of course, Shane and I have been with Tracy with HCA and discussing that we may have to move it downstream, which is obviously that's going to make us not be able to gravity it to the plant, but we are looking at some different options on Bowlins Creek right now. And when Heather, do we feel like we will have some numbers back from?
Have a meeting next week with the engineer with GMC. They have been working with the HGA estimators on putting together the numbers that FEMA will need for a complete replacement of what was there. And once we get that number, then we have lots of different options through the FEMA programs that will open up. And so I'm thinking 2 weeks, maybe shorter,
Have that number.
Have that number, and then we will be able to look at all the options that FEMA provides, an alternate or an improved project or something that still will allow us to utilize the source, but hopefully in a much more, accessible and efficient way. And there will be obviously some permitting changes, just moving it anywhere. But for those of y'all that have not been up there, it's pretty, it was hit really hard. There's just a lot of slides, and
Shane and I took 3 personnel from the Forest Service this week to the intake on the Forest Service side, and they didn't understand how it was ever put in there to begin with. And for those that have been up there, you would question it yourself, but I feel like that we will still be able to utilize Bowlins Creek. It may just not be at the current intake locations. So,
They would have been back on the
all right. Anyone else have anything from board standpoint? All right. Move on to Miss Cat. Welcome. Congratulations.
Oh, well, good evening, Mayor and council members and staff. I appreciate the opportunity to provide a brief update, and it will be brief, about what's happening at the Yancey Chamber of Commerce. Many of you have probably heard that Elaine Mann is no longer at the chamber, and I am interim executive director at this time, and they're gonna be posting that position on Indeed, and I think they're gonna run it for 2 weeks. Jim Pollier, the board chair, said that he wants this to get wrapped up quickly, so it'll be a short transition to whoever gets the executive director position. Some good things that are happening is we have partnered with Mountain Heritage High School Entrepreneur Program and started an internship at the chamber. So hopefully we get some interns to learn what it is all about to be a Chamber of Commerce and working in our town and how wonderful it is. And another program that we started this year was Empower Her Connect, and that's a women in business group, and we meet quarterly, and we talk about all different kinds of topics, and we have a keynote speaker, and on the fourth quarter, we are doing a Women's Leadership Summit, which we have a keynote speaker who's local from Yancey County, but our panel is 5 women in leadership positions from our surrounding counties. So it's gonna be a very, we're trying to reach out beyond just Yancey County to help women in business in our western North Carolina region. With the event, Trick or Treat on Main Street is gonna go on as planned. It probably won't be as bedazzling as last year, because we had a lot of donations last year, and I don't think we're gonna get the same amount this year, so, but we still have it back to normal, so it'll be a fun time. And let's see, the Christmas parade applications are ready to go. Sam Sabernek, she's our member services and marketing, and a must have in any time. She's my savior. And let's see, we are working with Visit NC. They are bringing in 3 to 4 national journalists on September 17th. So if you see me walking around being tour guide Barbie, I am walking around with some national people. I know one is the Men's Journal and one is Parade, and on Monday I'll find out who the other 2 national journalists are, and we're gonna be doing a little walking tour and stopping in at stores, and I'm gonna try to make sure the owners are in there, so we stop, they can all, ooh and ah, hopefully. And the Western North Carolina Chamber Executive Retreat is happening also in October, so that's coming up, and we're trying to get small conferences to come. So smaller companies, corporations that have 30 or less people, to start promoting that out to, we are ready here, not only just for tourists, but also for businesses to come. And with the new Ray Open and the town center, it's like a perfect marriage there. So that's pretty much it. Any questions?
I would say one thing, Rick and I got off the plane in Asheville August 14th, and there's that monster picture that Sam Robinson did.
Yeah, that's TVA.
And the
did
first
that.
thing you saw when you come into the new airport design is Burnsville. So, I mean, that's,
It's got a QR code
Yeah.
on there. Yeah, Brianna did that with TVA. Yeah.
I was too sleepy to do the, do the part covered. I like to done it.
Yeah, I haven't flown yet through there since that's happened, but I heard it was really nice.
It is
Yeah,
beautiful.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
So,
If you hadn't saw it, it's on Facebook.
yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Bill, do you have anything from High Country?
Not much other than some of the grants and money that Heather was talking about, but Zach Green, he is the director of the Council on Aging, and he was there to tell about money they had for people that have falling hazards in their house. And he said they would pay, like they would, you put in for this, if you know anybody that's there, they have to be 60 or older. they don't have to be owners of the house that they're in, but they will pay $1,000 to $5,000 to build ramps, or maybe put the riding thing up the stairs, or even put shelves down where people can reach them, anything that would be a hazard, a falling hazard for elderly people. So I guess you would just get in touch with maybe Victoria or somebody at High Country, and they could set you up with that. But anyway, I guess it comes out of App State, but they have somebody to come to the house. If you put in an application, they'll come and evaluate it and see what you can get with it.
That would be good for Christie to get with community paramedics. I mean, I'll do that.
And there was another one there, I think he was on the screen though, and they were talking about monies to repair septic tanks that have been damaged by Helene. And they said they would pay for $999 that was damaged, and then if you needed maintenance or if some of it was not damaged by that, but you needed it, $999 there, they will.
I know they've
They'll have
been
monies
in
for it.
contact with the Yancey County Health Department about that
Yeah.
part of funding. Yeah. It's a great program, because there's no income eligibility for that, and
No.
and it's 100% grant. And I think they have 22 million to repair, replace septic.
Yeah, and that would be great for people, I mean, to get the word out to people that need that.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you don't own the home, you have to have the owner's permission to do anything, of course.
All right, thank you, Bill. Our next regular meeting is October the 2nd, 6 p.m. Yes, sir.
I have 10 seconds.
Absolutely.
I realize this is highly irregular.
Absolutely.
But if you ever want to comment on Randy Ollis, you need to have it written down or some kind of tool written history. But I neglected to talk about his rescue squad experience. Under Randy's leadership, over some 30-something years, the Yancey County Rescue Squad acquired some $2 million in equipment and $1 million building. And the North Carolina Department of Insurance Fire and Rescue Commission has a grant program every year. And I dare say Randy Ollis qualified Yancey County for the maximum amount, more number of consecutive years than anybody in history. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yep.
And I thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you all for being here.
I think everybody's in agreement, don't you?
They are.